We have seen his former business partner, Manafort, who was the head of the Trump campaign, raided. Roger was the former first campaign head of the 2016 Trump election campaign. FBI conducted pre-dawn raid of former Trump campaign chairman Manafort's home. And what's amazing is the Washington Post admits he'd already turned over these very documents. So this is done, in my view, I haven't talked to Roger yet, for optics of, oh, look, a grand jury, indictment coming. Oh, see, they're criminals. Oh, raids. It's all done. SWAT team raids in the early morning. So you must have, it's kind of like they raid Amish for giving their neighbors cheese. They have a SWAT team and shove the old Amish man down on the ground when he didn't have a criminal record. His daddy's daddy didn't have one. Nobody's got a criminal record. But we're just going to shove you down in the mud on camera for the jury because the jury thinks, well, the FBI, the authority figure, shoved the Amish man down for giving his neighbor cheese that was an FBI informant. That's a real case. Manafort has voluntarily produced documents to congressional committees investigating Russia interference in the 2016 presidential election. The search warrant indicates investigators may have argued to a federal judge that they had reasonably Manafort could not be trusted to turn over all the records in response to a grand jury subpoena. Well, what if there are no documents? And that's why they had to do the raid, for optics, and they admit they've run into a brick wall. Now they're saying it's criminal. Was there any checks or did he lie on IRS forms? It's now a giant dragnet run out of the District of Columbia. The swamp has given birth to a grand jury with subpoenas going out. I'm told that I may be subpoenaed. I know the Federal Elections Commission wants me subpoenaed for my Russian funding. They're saying you buying our products are Russians. They think you're morons. They're coming after the press. They're bullies. And I'm proud to stand in the Second American Revolution against globalists that are 1,000 times worse than King George III. And we're winning. This is because they're failing. The stock market's up. Our military is being rebuilt. Our veterans are starting to get taken care of. Our borders are getting secured. Christianity is being defended again. They don't know what to do. InfoWars contributor Roger Stone launching his own syndicated program coming up in early September, The War Room, with Roger Stone, Mike Cernovich, and our own Owen Schroyer. You've heard my breakdown. Is it accurate? And give us your latest intel. Have you talked to Manafort? This was kept under wraps for a few weeks. Is it being brought out now to smokescreen for the fact that we have a Soros known operative now in General McMaster?
Well, Alex, your report is essentially correct. Jackbooted thugs authorized by Robert Mueller kicked down the front door of Manafort's home, proceeded to the bedroom, kicked down the door to the marital bedroom, seeking documents that they had never requested, mundane bank statements and documents that would certainly have been turned over. Now, Mr. Mueller is extremely well acquainted with the law firm that represents Manafort, but no request was registered. The reason for this raid is to distract from the fact that prosecutors in the Southern District of New York are now questioning close associates of Hillary Clinton and are seeking an interview with Hillary and her husband regarding the activities of the Clinton Foundation. Evidently, Jeff Sessions suddenly woke up. Somebody woke him up. And therefore, I think the Manafort raid is made to distract from the fact that justice may be about to catch up with the Clintons. There is nothing, I am told, in the records that were seized that is anything beyond the mundane. This is part and parcel of the Mueller effort to frame Donald Trump or his associates based on constructing a case which the Democrats, should they grab control of the House in 2018, would use as a phony basis for impeachment. That's the game that is afoot.
Expanding on that, is that breaking news dealing with Sessions beginning to go after Hillary herself?
It has been intimated on the net, but I have now confirmed from law enforcement sources in New York that there is definite movement, and I will have more to report at 2 p.m. Central Time today on InfoWars. I'm still gathering data on this and the latest on McMaster's coordination with George Soros and the Soros mole in the Trump White House, Fiona Hill. More on all of that later today on InfoWars.
Roger, this is like an action-adventure movie we're now living in, with North Korea and the Clintons arming them, and now the Clintons still someone in power through this corrupt shadow state, battling the American people and President Trump. And the people, it seems, though, are seeing right through this. They're running all these new hoaxes that he's down in the polls, which our research shows isn't true. They're starting to abandon a lot of the Russian narrative, though, and are moving, as you predicted 6 months ago, to just general obstruction of anything, crimes, bounce checks, anybody in the government, having a government employee shine their shoes. I mean, just like with Netanyahu's wife for cell phone bills or whatever. It's now taking on classic dragnet, complete witch hunt run by people that Trump has fired that are on Mueller's staff.
Well, I think you're exactly right, Alex. The problem fundamentally is that the Obamas still run the U.S. Justice Department. In the recent trial of Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio, a key endorser of Donald Trump, the Justice Department monitored his communications with his attorneys during the trial. They communicated improperly with the judge during the trial. And all of this, of course, is payback for Sheriff Joe's support of Donald Trump and his claims that Barack Obama was not born in the United States, which he has sought to pursue. You would think that the Trump Justice Department would dismiss this case, but there is no one who works for Trump working at Justice other than Jeff Sessions, who very sadly appears to be asleep. I think he's asleep, actually. Instead of pursuing the Clintons, who certainly deserve to go to jail, we have the entire front line of the NSA under Barack Obama wiretapping and surveilling at least 30,000 people. Brennan knew, Rogers knew, Valerie Jarrett knew, Susan Rice knew, Ben Rhodes knew, but there's no one kicking in their doors at 5 o'clock in the morning and arresting them. Barack Obama is running the U.S. Justice Department under the Trump presidency. It's extraordinary and, frankly, quite sad.
And he's moved in down the block in a lavish armored compound with walls to run the operation. And before he left office, when President Trump was president-elect, Obama bragged, and his surrogates bragged, we're digging in. We're even putting more people in positions. We're even finding people that don't have a social history online that are our operatives, and they even put spies in. And as you said, even the New York Times now admits that they're out going to government employees to recruit them as moles. Some word is money's being paid. This is an espionage operation against our own government, and it just gets more intense, more serious as no one is punished, and more emboldened and more brazen. I mean, I've just never even imagined in a spy novel something this insane. So where's it going now?
Well, I think there's every possible effort being made to silence anyone who would expose what's going on. This lawsuit that Obama and his allies filed against me is an outrageous abuse of process. It's a tissue of lies, and I would be unconcerned about it, except for it's going to be heard in the District of Columbia, where the chances of my getting a fair judge or a reasonable jury are non-existent. It's harassment. You see, Alex, if they can distract me and tie me up fighting this phony lawsuit, that's time and effort I can't spend trying to save the president from the cabal of globalists who have settled in around him. So I really think that's the goal. We are in for some very tough weeks ahead. Mueller has no concern for the law or the facts. He is hell-bent on taking down the president. And sadly, General Kelly, General McMaster, and perhaps General Mattis are prepared to sit back and let that happen.
Roger, clearly, if they're able to remove Trump, which I don't think they're going to be able to do if we stay on air and stay focused, they're going to go after everybody else. They're going to try to sew up the political system because they know they've lost the people entirely. The public knows that they've broken the social contract. And I like the fact that the president's really gotten tough on Sessions and they've reconciled now and that we're seeing some movement from him. But I agree with Congressman Chaffetz and others. I don't want press conferences. I want indictments. I mean, you've got Obama and his people on the news when President Trump was president-elect saying, we're going to sabotage, we're going to block, we're going to stop him, we've been spying on him, we're giving all the info to the media. And then Trump gets into office and goes, that's illegal. And they go, we never said that. And we've got hundreds of articles and statements where they said they did it. It's open and shut indictments. We think of espionage by some foreign power. This is the most common form of espionage is a coup, like we see in Latin America or Asia or Europe. Here, our coups are just more silent because we don't do that in the West. And it's a classic coup by deep state with comedy shows acting as news bullhorns out there cheerleading and even targeting you and myself for destruction, cutting off our sponsors, trying to put us in prison. I would expect that, you've talked about this, I would expect a SWAT team raid. I would expect you to get one because that's what they do. We've sat around. We went out on my ski boat a few weeks ago and we had the discussion over a beer. We said, I wonder when we get the SWAT team raid, because we know that then escalates into them killing us because first they want to demonize you as a criminal and then have somebody kill you, car wreck or carjacking, whatever it is, or you're found dead with a hooker and, heroin. This is the kind of crap they do, assassinate your character ahead of actually killing you. So I just want everybody to know I'm not a loser if they kill me. I'm a winner. We change the world. And don't take my death as a loss. Take it as a martyr. Move forward. We are going to defeat these people. We are the winners. We are the free market. We are the Americans. We are the patriots. We are the underdogs. And we are winning. Roger Stone.
Alex, I say again, the key to the president's survival is the FISA court declaration at the end of the Obama administration, which indisputably proves that Obama's NSA was illegally surveilling up to 30,000 Americans, which include Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, Donald Trump, and in my opinion, Alex Jones. And General McMaster and General Kelly have worked very hard to keep the very existence of that report away from the president, because were he to order the prosecutions, his tormentors are defeated. Obama will have a hard time running the anti-Trump campaign from a prison cell. Instead, unfortunately, Attorney General Sessions is too busy chasing marijuana smokers and now chasing the Clintons. While I appreciate the sentiment, the Clintons are no longer running the Democratic Party. This is an Obama operation. The Clintons are a vague embarrassment to the Democrats. Yes, they should go to jail for their crimes, but there's plenty of time for that. Right now, they have to gut the centerpiece of the opposition, which is Obama. McMaster reports,
and if the president was really surrounded by hardline patriots like George Washington had, they would already have moved against these traitors who are openly in sedition against the republic and the American way of life. They are the opposite of the American way. They are the enemy, period.
Talking to patriots in Florida, they are planning to march on Mar-a-Lago the first time the president goes there to demand the firing of McMaster. They will line the motorcade route. They will make it very clear to the president that he is being misled, he is being lied to. McMaster works for Soros. McMaster reports to Soros. McMaster has inserted a Soros goon, Fiona Hill, and a fellow traveler neocon named Allison Nielsen. McMaster does not support the Trump agenda, but these things are being kept from the president. The president is unaware that General McMaster gave Susan Rice a pass on her political espionage. The president is unaware that he extended Susan Rice's national security clearance. The president is unaware that Samantha Powers, the UN ambassador, was unmasking hundreds of Republicans and engaging in political espionage in violation of the Constitution and the law. General Kelly has successfully kept that information from the president. Now, it's heartening to watch Sean Hannity, who finally figured out who the deep state is. He's clearly been watching you and I on InfoWars because he's now repeating our shtick. Sean, get your own script. Your heart's in the right place, but you don't need to keep repeating at night what we report on InfoWars.
Roger, we had a private discussion about this, and I normally agree with you, but look, he's seeing the same thing. Lou Dobbs is saying it. Colonel Schaefer, we're just saying the same thing. And yes, I use terms like clear and present danger and things, and they use it. I'm glad that they've looked into our research. The Washington Post has demonized him, saying, you know, he's becoming Alex Jones. That's good. I know that you and him had a beef behind the scenes. He should have you on. They'd probably fire him. Come on. We'll be right back with a few more comments from Roger that I'm hitting the North Korea news and taking your calls. Adam, you were pretty excited when you walked in here and saw Roger Stone up there.
Well, of course.
Is he not a living character?
He is a legend, and he's really big here on the screen in front of me. Roger, how you doing?
I'm excellent. You know, Alex, I don't have an external mic, but as the Chinese say, one picture worth 1,000 words. I do
the Chinese, huh? No, they made that up.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, seriously, Roger, your take on the whole North Korea situation?
Well, we finally have a president who doesn't draw a line in the sand and then sit back helplessly while our adversaries cross it. I think the boy dictator has picked a fight with the wrong guy. Maybe he was used to Obama, you know, rolling over on everything. Trump will not roll over. He will do what is necessary to preserve world peace and to stop these maniacs from incinerating the globe. And should the president continue to make serious progress on improving the economy and demonstrate his commitment to a tougher-minded foreign policy, he will get reelected. A terrific column by former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown last week saying to his fellow Democrats, wake up, you idiots. He's on his way to reelection.
Roger, other tidbits, I mean, clearly, how would you define this massive escalation? As just that with this optics raid for bank documents that Manafort had agreed if they wanted to turn over. And, of course, the FBI has digital records going back decades. Under Know Your Customer, they're in all the bank records. This is just ridiculous. Purely optics. And I don't see the American people buying into it. What do you think?
Alex, it's harassment, just like the lawsuit I referred to earlier that they filed against me. This is all meant to be harassment. No one has yet proven a scintilla of evidence that Manafort colluded in any way with the Russians or that anyone else in the Trump campaign did. But they need to distract from the fact that they were involved in wholesale political espionage in violation of the Constitution and the law. They need to distract from their ongoing crimes, the outrageousness of the prosecution of Joe Arpaio, the ongoing secret grand jury seeking an indictment against Julian Assange, the journalist who runs WikiLeaks.
And by the way, I mean, you mentioned this earlier, but what's the word? Because I've heard from other sources, when they've said it publicly, they're floating my name around, too, in the magic indictment hopper. I mean, are they going to indict me as being a Ruski?
We had a meeting last night of the 45 group, which is a secret group of Trump loyalists. We have pledged to do whatever is necessary to avert this coup. And there is some discussion that you are on a hit list for government raid, for harassment. I'm on the list. There are several others that are mutual friends of ours. So you're in good company. But yes, I think that, Alex, you've been targeted because you're the tip of the spear, because you are riling people to stand up against the machine. And they would love to silence you. One way, as you know, that they're seeking to do this is through their manipulation of the internet, the manipulation of the algorithms,
they've gone from denying that, I want to talk about with Adam Curry, to just exploding it, because it's just really intensifying right now, and it shows they know they have nothing left but to try to shut us up.
You had the right idea. When did you start calling things InfoWars? 20 years ago? 25 years ago?
About 20 years ago.
You had the right idea. That is exactly what we're in right now. Information wars, and not so much mainstream media, but the algorithms. The algorithms that place things, that grab your attention, that focus you on certain...
We're fighting AI.
Well, I will not give it the moniker of artificial intelligence. It's not artificial intelligence. It's more like skip logic. You know, if someone likes this, then you're going to bring that into them and show this over here. And they have pools. They have pools.
No, I agree with you, but the AI in it is that humans are interfacing with it, and then they're able to program us with the information, and we are sentient, so really it's an interface.
Yeah, I think AI is just tossed around really easily.
Sure.
I mean, there's no artificial intelligence. These are real people. There's a real movement behind structuring information.
So it's more of an art form.
It's totally an art form.
You're
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people doing it.
Amazing. Stone, thank you so much. You're going to be on in about an hour and a half. I really appreciate you being a stalwart, not backing down in the face of all the bullying. It is getting intense.
Alex, always great to be with you, and we will have some more exclusive breaking news.